Hi, my name is Chris, and this video is called Spirit, A Place of Peace, Part 3. I'm going to assume that if you're watching this video that you have watched the previous two videos in the series, and if you have not, please stop now and watch those two videos first. Also, I have just posted a video called Visualization Instructional Video, which goes into detail about how you can visualize and learn to visualize so that you are able to master that skill, see clearly with your eyes open in color, and be able to have a more full and complete experience in using these exercises such as we are talking about today. If you're not satisfied with the quality of your visualization in the exercises that we've done so far, then I'd suggest you stop now. Don't listen to this video right this moment, but take some time and work with your visualization instructional video and perform the tasks in the video. Master your visualization skills, and by the time you're done, you should have the ability to visualize with your eyes open, to see clearly using the incoming ambient light in such a way that you can see in clearly defined shapes, colors, and have a very complete and clear visualization experience. That'll help you a lot in working with Spirit. However, if you are satisfied with your level of visualization skill now, or you are simply in a rush to work with Spirit and you have some visualization ability, then let's go ahead and just work with the content of this video. One of the issues I'd like to discuss today is the absence of challenge and conflict in Spirit as an environment. Now, your Spirit identity does exactly what he or she wants to do all the time, has no conflict, problems, is not in conflict with his or her environment, other people, and so on. This might lend to people the idea that there isn't any real purpose in this environment and that it's sort of meaningless and that it could become torture after a while. But this is not the case. In the physical world, there is an inherent suffering in everything we do, even pleasure. In pleasure, if we have an experience that we enjoy, we say to ourselves, I enjoy this experience, and this experience is completely enjoyable for me. However, there is no such thing in the physical world. Every experience that we say we enjoy includes a certain amount of suffering. When we do something we enjoy and we get worn out on it, meaning we still have the desire to do it, but in some way, shape, or form we feel burned out on the experience, then part of that is the suffering that's inherent in our experience. There's suffering essentially in almost all our experience, even experiences that we don't consciously think about as engaging in suffering. For this reason, Spirit is different from the physical world in that we suffer constantly, and therefore our experience of pleasure is far below that of what the Spirit being experiences. When they experience anything, it's completely in the form of pleasure and positive, rather than in the form of a mixture of pain and pleasure. And so for this reason, we can't really compare our experience to theirs and say that it would be boring or pointless. Please keep this in mind as we talk about the Spirit experience, because Spirit beings do have a wide variety of experiences that they explore. They tend to focus less on problems since they themselves do not have problems. But instead they focus on a greater amount of intellectual exploration, imagination, higher levels of consciousness, and the abstract. This is an infinitely large and complex structure that rises up above them that they can explore, going on for essentially infinity of time, and there is no limit to this exploration. It goes far beyond anything that we can really imagine. But for the purposes of our work with visualization and with Spirit, we will find many ways of looking at things and their involvement in reality that can help us and improve our quality of life and change the way we think about ourselves. So let's go ahead and summarize what we know about spirit, and then we'll go ahead and do our first meeting with our spirit identity. To summarize, our spirit environment exists inside the mind of our spirit identity only. Our spirit identity sees an environment and a home that you've created, is happy with that home, but understands that home and that environment outside the home entirely exist inside his or her mind. Your spirit identity has no pain, no guilt, no blame, no emotional and mental suffering or conflict. He or she only does what they want to do when they want to do it. Their sense of time is personal to them. They're not subject to a single timeline, and when they interact with others, they're interacting with their personal timeline, but they don't share a timeline with others when they're separate from them. Your spirit identity always experiences what they want, and they have the ability as conscious beings to have any experience that they want without exception. As long as they can mentally define the experience that they want, they can have it. So you've already done a walkthrough of your spirit home, so let's have you go there right now. I want you to walk through your home, get a feeling for it. Now, I'd like you to find a room where you can conduct an interview with your spirit identity. That means that you're going to need a place where you can sit down fairly near someone else facing them. If you don't have such a room, then set up one of your rooms or add a room where you can do this. You might want to add an interview room where you can have 2 couches facing each other or 2 chairs facing each other or something like that. Once you have that set up and a clear image of it in your mind, I want you to find a pen and paper and get yourself situated, and let's begin. Go to your interview room or whatever room you've chosen for your interview with your spirit identity. Sit down in one position facing the other chair or couch or what have you, and visualize your spirit identity as being in the opposite position facing you. Now I'd like you to write down a question that you have for your spirit identity. After you've written it down, I want you to ask your spirit identity that question and listen to their response. Remember, if you have trouble hearing them, if it seems a little blurred, or if there is a problem with the volume, or you don't quite understand, you feel like you're not quite connecting to them, then you can change voluntarily any aspect of the experience that you want. You can raise the volume, you can raise the clarity, you can do anything to the experience. The experience is happening inside your mind. All you have to do is demand it. So simply adjust the quality of the experience upwards if you need to. After listening to them talk and understanding what they're saying, write it down in as much detail as possible. If you need to stop and write down what they've said and then go back and listen some more and write down some more, do that. But write down everything that they've said without exception. Next, go ahead and write down any other questions or clarification questions that you have for them about what you initially asked. And then have them answer these questions until you feel satisfied that your initial question has been answered to the fullest. Now thank them and let them go and leave. Remember that if you have an issue about what your spirit identity looks like, they essentially look like you, except somewhat idealized. Although you can have them look any way you want, I really encourage you to have them look like yourself in sort of an idealized form, but you can do it any way you want. And in our next video on spirit, I'll go into more depth about how spirit beings perceive things, and we'll talk about our upcoming contact with spirit, where we will identify with our spirit identity and see through their eyes for the first time. Thank you.